We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is the formidable dread sauce from CaJohn's Fiery Foods. And if you guys would like to read the bottle copy, let's see if we can pull it in for you. Alright, here you go. Feel free to pause the screen right here if you guys would care to read this. And it is kicking us right off with Marigo scorpions, mango juice, rice vinegar, rum, mango, lime juice, vanilla extract, cilantro, and salt. So you can see it is a very runny sauce, as Caribbean sauces tend to be. The color is really interesting. It's almost like a yellow gold, maybe even with a couple touches of green in here. I don't believe it has a restrictor cap. It probably should. Probably should have a restrictor cap, but I'll pour a little out here, guys, so you can see it with the white point. You can see it's not as runny as the Louisiana style. There's some little bits of color in there. I'm not 100% sure what all this is. A lot of it is probably the cilantro and possibly the peppers. Let's throw a little bit more in there for our taste testing. Maybe some, I'm sure some mango coloration possibly in there. So using mango pulp, let's see. It is using mango pulp, guys, so that probably is what some of this is. So texture wise, it's a bit on the interesting side. Alright guys, so here it is. The formidable dread sauce, and I can definitely smell the peppers from here. The first thing I get is sweetness, and reminds me a bit of some of the Scotch bonnet sauces I've had. Definitely getting the peppers. Peppers are very present. There is a slight astringency to it from the rice vinegar or possibly the lime juice a little bit. It is not full-on citrusy. In fact, I would say not citrusy particularly. Not even necessarily tropical. And it might have to do with the vanilla extract in there. Maybe a little bit of rum tempering as well. It definitely is hot. Like, you can definitely feel the scorpions right out of the gate. With this sauce, it's so very subtle. You can wind up getting yourself in a pretty good blaze in your mouth trying to chase after the flavor notes. Vanilla, rum, mango, they're very soft in this sauce. And you can definitely eat quite a bit of it trying to chase those notes down. So I happen to have made a plate here of some air fried shrimps, and we're going to do it a couple different ways. So for the first way, I'm just going to dump it on some of these, let it soak in for a second. Okay, we're going to let that soak in. And for the second part, you can see I've got them soaking right there. So you can see that. The second part, we're just going to throw some on the plate. and we'll do some dipping. So while that's soaking in, let's go with the dip. I haven't had this on shrimp before. I think I might have run these in the air fryer a bit too long though. Crunchy, but they're very dry. So I'm getting flavor with breading. Here, let's get rid of some breading. All right, just the shrimp itself. I don't know if you guys can see it, it's still steaming. All right, now we should be able to get it's interesting. I'm catching vanilla now and a little bit of cilantro, which is really unusual because I have not, to this point, you can see where the sauce level is, to this point I really haven't. These are soaked in a bit. Getting a lot of sweetness out of this now. This one has been soaked. I'm going to dip it also. We're getting some lime notes as well. Pressing up on the bottle there. Another soaked. We'll dip it also. So it doesn't work very well on the shrimp, unfortunately. I mean, I love me some shrimp, but shrimp is a very mild flavor. It will tend to take on whatever you put it in. So we're just going to mop up all the sauce. And this is the last one that's been soaking. Yeah. I mean, it's got a pretty good burn going right now. With this being as sweet as it is, which is typical of Caribbean sauces a lot, it's a bit too hot to use in place of a Louisiana sauce. I wish the vinegar is actually slightly more aggressive, but it's a rice vinegar, which again is, it's a mild vinegar. So, it's an interesting sauce. It's not fruity enough to be just your standard fruit-based sauce, and it is similar, I guess, in a way to Louisiana, but it still has enough sweetness, residual sweetness in it, that it doesn't function really well in that setting as well. Caribbean sauce is really its own thing, and I've liked this better with meats with more flavor, so chicken, fish, things like that. I don't know that it would do well with the red meat, but if you're using it for chicken strips and things like that, I just don't think you can stir it into noodles or collard greens, or I think it'd be honestly not very good in like a cream sauce food, like a macaroni and cheese. So, on its own terms, it is very interesting. I can't say I've had a lot of sauces like this one. And of course, from everything CaJohn's makes is pretty well done. This is no exception. I like the pirate motif. The theme of that is kind of entertaining. I just don't know where this would ever fit in my stable. So, pretty well done sauce, but I don't think I'm going to be, like I mentioned in the written review, replacing this bottle once it's done. It's not something I would necessarily keep on hand. It is definitely got some good spark to it, though, especially if you're chasing after the subtleties of flavors. So if that's kind of a fun thing that you like to do, and I like to do that with some sauces as well, just a word to the wise, be a bit careful with that, or you'll be sitting there with your mouth just blazing, as mine is to a bit of an extent. I've got a very good mouth heat going on. And so it's a little bit different where my entire mouth is just, it's a nice, it's a solid blaze. But it's not like, extract where, like extract for me, I get little sparks, almost like I'm getting shocked on my tongue if I have too much extract. This doesn't do that. It just feels like there's a nice warm heat going on. So interesting flavor, not what I would say is a great flavor. And it overpowered my shrimp, which is unfortunate. But stick to fish, stick to chicken, you'd be better off with that. But definitely, if you guys are looking to shake things up, want a little change from the same old, this is a good sauce to get, for sure. But there it is, CaJohn's Dread, Formidable Dread hot sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.